Hello and welcome back everybody to Everlasting Summer. So, last time we did everything that is needed for the Slavya ending possibility, good end or bad end. And now we want to see the dance scene these two have. So, and up till now everything has been the same, but now Slavya comes and I guess things will change. I don't know for sure. But I guess it is like that. Hey Semyon, what are you sitting there for? Don't you want to dance? At least we won't go with Lena together cleaning the infirmary, that's for sure. I was so deep in thoughts that I hadn't even noticed Slavya. Not really. Are you sure? She smiled. Maybe later. Damn, what am I even doing here? Why would you come to a dance party if you'd rather sit tightly in a corner? Okay, but just a little bit. Ah, so he's dancing with her. I see. That is the spirit. She reached out her hand to me. We were standing in the middle of the dancing crowd. Well, in fact, it was me who was standing. Slavya was warming up, swaying to the beat. I was already blaming myself for agreeing to this uncomfortable proposal. Okay, here am I, on the road again. And now what? I examined the dancing pioneers around me. Nope, I am not prepared for this. The music stopped abruptly. Some people were still dancing under the momentum, but the majority stopped. Don't panic! The leader went to the DJ's panel and adjusted something there. Next song, ladies invite gentlemen. I looked at Slavya. She stretched her hand out to me with a smile. You shouldn't refuse a girl. She looks exactly like Lena. But really, like exactly. It's like somebody put the head on the rest and changed the clothing, but the rest. The facial expression, the position, it's like nearly the same. Amazing. Also in the woods, weren't they at the square? Oh well. We danced for a few minutes. Her chest heaved faster and her face blushed more and more. Slavya stared into my eyes. Well, she kinda doesn't, but okay. Also, you don't have eyes. I tried to look away at the dancing pioneers or at my feet or somewhere else. It was a strange feeling. My whole body shuddered from time to time, but it wasn't a pleasant shudder, without any hint of uneasiness or shame. My mind became miraculously calm, like miracle. I realized that I didn't want to let this girl go, and I'm ready to dance with her forever. Hopping next to us, Uliana stopped for a moment and smirked. Maybe I was seeing things, but I couldn't get rid of the thought that that insolent girl is trying to hint at something. I might have made a frightening face, but she was already gone. Is something wrong? Slavya asked quietly. Everything is fine. I mean, everything is great. I hadn't started stammering yet, but I was about to. You're so tense. A little, I said honestly. Boys don't like to dance. I guess so. She didn't say anything, just smiled. The song eventually finished. I was still holding Slavya, but she easily slipped out of my grasp. Thank you for the dance. I should thank you. I just stood and stared at her for some time. Oh, he's so awkward, it's amazing. And the next track started playing. One more? No, I think I'll rest a little. I tried to leave the square as soon as possible. I don't remember how I ended up at the beach. Why did I run away? It looked exactly like running away. I bet Slavya's coming after him and now we'll have a little dance like with, with Lena or something. The dance was nice and Slavya was pleased. But something wasn't right. I felt restless just thinking about the ball. Maybe I just lost my grasp on the situation and got emotional. That happens rarely. I always try to behave and calmlessly assess the situation. But did I manage it this time? I sat on the sand and looked at the river. The full moon was hanging far above the water. Memories overwhelmed me. I am 6 years old. Me and my father are fishing. That is actually so important stuff. Why is all that important stuff in... I missed like all the important stuff, you know? He didn't have the stuff like that with Lena, or when I did the right thing with Uljana. All the going into himself and getting to know himself happens in Slavya's route. Why is that? That's strange. Maybe it's a choice about concerning the different routes. In Slavya's route, he gets to know himself. I don't know. And in Lena's route, maybe he gets to know that Lena isn't as fragile and as he thinks, or something like that. And in Alisa's route, he learns that she's not as strong as she thinks. Maybe something like that. We'll see. We'll see. I'm predicting shit again. I'm 6 years old. Me and my father are fishing. I cast my fishing rod clumsily and wait. 1 minute, 2, 10, no fish bite. Meanwhile, my father gets one after another. How do you do that? He explains, but now I don't remember all the details. I'm 9 years old. A dark, incomplete building near our country house full of ghosts, vampires, or maybe just hobos. An unstable wooden ladder to the second floor, hanging above the abyss, the hole to the basement. I'm scared, but I still climb up and down this ladder every day. A brick falls on my foot and I lose a toenail. I'm 12 years old. My first victory in a video game tournament. We play a console fighting game. An imaginary audience applauds my astonishing victory. I'm 15 years old. I score several wonderful goals with my heel. And a wonderful shot from 30 meters away right into the upper corner. I'm 17 years old. My first love. Transient images, shadows slipping away and vanishing in the city haze. I can't catch her among the buildings and corners. The following memories became more clear, but far less vivid. The images of my childhood and youth that I saw were unclear. They lacked details and I couldn't quite see the faces of people. Sometimes they just looked like a lot like a canvas, covered with spilled paint. But the feelings of those hazy images were so much warmer than those of my more recent memories. Yeah, that sucks. A bit. There you are. Told you. Ah, no dancing. But, you know, still an emotional episode. Also, that is a different address. Just saying. Slavia leaned over me. I didn't get a fright. Why did you leave so soon? Just felt like being alone for a bit. It was like I hid in a shell. There was no outer world for me, and I responded the same way to all stimuli. I was like the three monkeys. Hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. Isn't it just beautiful here? Slavia looked at the river. Yeah, it is. How about one more dance? Told you. No thanks, I'm fine. Deep inside I knew I shouldn't be so sharp with Slavia, but I was like a puppet on the string, forced to say things I would have never said under other circumstances. What are you thinking about? Nothing. You can't think about nothing. She pouted her lips, but smiled right after that, letting me know she wasn't offended. You're always thinking about something, even if you don't notice it. Maybe. So, what are you thinking about now? About owls. I said the first thing that came to my mind. Why owls? She laughed. I don't know. Have you ever seen any owls? Of course I have. What a silly question. Do you like them? They're just a bird like any other. A night bird, Slavia specified. Yes, a night bird. A night bird. I imagined an owl. A little feathered box with huge blinking eyes. Are you a night owl? What? You know, they are day larks and night owls. Some like to get up early and some like to sleep in. The words brought me back to reality. I pictured my dusty room full of junk, a mountain of unwashed plates on the table, guitar rotting in the corner, necktie hanging from the lamp, and, the pinnacle of all of this, a heap of dirty socks under the bed. I was indeed a night owl. Night was my time. But somehow I was managing to get up early in this camp. I know. So what are you? A night owl, I guess. I like to sleep. And I am a daylark. The earlier you get up, the more you can do during the day. There is really nothing urgent for me to do, so I don't see any difference between day and night. It's just quieter and calmer during the night. Slavia, don't you have any problems at all in your life? What do you mean? She wondered. You are always so joyful, so ready to help, so eager to start doing something. It is like nothing can upset you. Why? She laughed. I'm just an ordinary person. That is right. Just an ordinary person in an ordinary place. I sometimes think that I am the strange one here. Don't you like the camp? I don't mean only the camp. In the previous, I stumbled. I shouldn't speak so frankly, even with her. At home, too. Think that I'm not like the others. It's not where I belong. Oh, stop that. It's silly to think so. Was closing myself off from the rest of the world just a moment ago. Now I was opening my heart to this girl. It's happening to me. No, really. You wouldn't pay any attention to me under any other circumstances. I'm so different from you. I'm lazy, unsociable, and have no outstanding talents. I would be the last person you would notice in the crowd of a large city. Though for me, even going outside is rare. Simeon, you scare me. She looked at me seriously. I got embarrassed, but didn't avert my eyes. Am I wrong? Of course. You are you. There's no other person like you. You should just have some self-esteem and patience, and you can do anything. No doubt about it. I looked at the sky. If only everything could be as simple as you say. It's not difficult at all. Let's start right now. Start what? Changing. Just like that? How do you imagine we can do that? We should do something useful. For instance? Well... She thought for a moment. Let's clean up the square. The ball has already finished. Just the two of us? Would we be able to do all that work? There isn't that much to do. The first step is the most important. I can't argue with her on that point, but taking down the light from trees in the dark, moving heavy audio equipment, and sweeping. By the way, the first step is not the most difficult. The most difficult thing, in my opinion, is keep the ball rolling. If you may have made the first step, but going on afterwards, that is always the most difficult thing. If you for things you don't want to do, if you know what I mean. None of that was on my to-do list, but I didn't know how to nicely refuse her. Maybe we can do it tomorrow? With everyone? Why put it off until tomorrow? Wouldn't it be wonderful to stand in a clean square during the lineup? First of all, I don't even like lineups in general. Hey, I understand you. But this is too much. Slavya thought for a moment. Yes, looks like you're right. Even I can be right sometimes, and she can be wrong. Then, she stretched and yawned. Let's just sleep on it then. A nice idea, but I wanted to talk more. Isn't it too early? No! Slavya objected critically. You'll sleep all day tomorrow then. Tell me a bedtime story then. I blurted out the first thing that came to my mind. I know only those ones I read in books. You must know them too. Maybe I do. What a failure. Shall we go? She stretched out a hand to me. I'll stay here for a while longer. I need some fresh air. You can go. Good night. Good night. Slavya ran away. I wanted to enjoy my total defeat first. I couldn't stand being with her even a minute longer after that brilliant idea. Bedtime stories? What in the world? That's how the things are. I try to have a casual chat with a girl, and it turns into a complete flop. I stared into the night sky. The stars, those small lights of distant suns, blinked perkily as if laughing at me. I turned over and buried my face in the sand. After a moment I realized that was another one of my bright ideas, about on par with asking for a bedtime story. I stood up, spitting grit. Oh, yeah, of course. I didn't even think about that. He's right. I stood up, spitting grit, and went to the leader's cabin. Is that it? No? Yeah, I think that's it, isn't it? Or is this something different? I don't know. Is this something different? Have we read that? Let's see. Can I fast forward? No, I can't. So, he wants to wash. Okay, no, we haven't seen that yet. So, let's go on. Sorry. So, he wants to wash himself. I can find everything in August's cabin. After a couple of minutes, I was again at the square with my bag of bathing accessoires. You know what I mean. I have to find the bathhouse now. It was easy. The building was just on the edge of the forest. It really is the best place for a bathhouse. So we probably get some ecchi scene. I mean, that's usually how cleaning episodes in visual novels and animes and everything that has ever to do with Japan goes. Even though this was made in Russia. I think there was no Blair Witch inside, but the lights were still on. And whose bright idea is to have a bath at midnight? I muttered below my breath. Yours truly, but okay. There's only one problem. Is it a boy or a girl? In the first case, we could just have a bath together without any worries. I'm not fond of public baths, but I can cope with them this time. In the second case, I would have to wait, or to scratch myself the whole night through. Who knows how long I have to wait. I peeped into the window, but couldn't see anything because of the steam. Suddenly, of course, suddenly Slavya appeared right before me, as if from a thick fog. Naturally, she was naked, just like anyone else in the bath would be. Dumbstruck, I stared at her. I had never seen a naked girl so close, even through glass. My organ reacted as it should. Yeah, okay. The nerve impulse around the now he's aroused and stuff, but Slavya didn't notice him. She was washing herself, okay. She started to wash her hair. She washes herself. He's still watching. Okay, he stopped watching. God damn it, Semyon. I managed to come to my senses just at the moment she went into the changing room and left to hide in the nearby bushes. The best thing to do was not to tempt fate and leave, but I realized that too late. Slavya appeared on the porch after just a moment, stood there for a while, enjoying the night breeze, and walked in the direction of my hideout. I had a dozen excuses in my mind, but she went by without even looking at the bushes I was hiding in. Looks like I'm lucky. I cautiously got out and went to Olga's cabin, completely forgetting my intention to having a bath. I was totally exhausted and wanted just to fall in bed and doze off. My eyes couldn't wait and were closing from time to time. It was dangerous even to blink. I still didn't know the camp well enough to work there with my eyes closed. Suddenly, Slavya appeared before me. Are you going to sleep? Well, yes. Right this moment I remembered the sight in the bathhouse and averted my eyes shyly. And you? I'm cleaning up. She took the broom out from behind her back. Slavya with a broom in the empty square at night looked like a witch from a children's fairy tale. What? Nothing. Is it a really good idea to clean the square after a bath? This is so stupid. This is like the only thing he shouldn't have said, and she says it. I mean, this happens in real life, but this is so much game convenience, you know? This is so much game convenience that he said that. I hate stuff like that, because it's stupid. I mean, who in the hell? It's like he has to concentrate on one thing right now. And he doesn't. Why? Yeah. Screw it. And how do you know that I had a bath? I physically felt the fear taking over my body. Cold sweat started to run down my back. My thoughts froze so I couldn't think of any excuses. Slavya still stared at me in surprise. It looked like my life depends on this answer. Well, your hair is wet. Oh, you're right. I wanted the earth to swallow me up, so I would vanish from this world just as suddenly and irreversibly as I had vanished from mine. Are you going to have a bath too? Me, well... Slavya looked at the bag in my hands. Yes, I am! So good night. I turned around and darted back towards the bathhouse. What a disaster. How shameful. I walked slowly, trying to curse myself for all that happened. I shouldn't have peeped in the first place. But if I peep anyway, then I must pay more attention and think of an excuse beforehand. That is true. Especially not peeping. But if you're as stupid, be not totally stupid and think of something good. It didn't take much time to wash myself. It looked like the night made its own ball, or possibly a concert. The stars were the lights, the birds and insects were an orchestra. An owl, hooting somewhere, was its director. The sound of wind in the trees was the applause of the audience. The night looked much more beautiful when you stand in the forest clean and fresh. Suddenly I heard a noise in the bushes nearby. I shivered, but didn't get very scared. That is Slavya and the bushes. The revenge. You know. It may be a squirrel or another animal. Nevertheless, I should check it out. I went to the bushes, but didn't find anything or anyone suspicious. It just seemed... With a clean body and a calm spirit, I went to the leader's cabin. Maybe it wasn't Slavya. Olga was already asleep. I went to bed without taking my clothes off and covered myself with a blanket. I couldn't fall asleep for a long time, remembering, whose image could not be eclipsed by thoughts about finding answers. Is that it? I guess that's it. Yay! Okay, now we skip to the point where you decide on which path you walk. If you got enough points for the girl you want to go on the path with. You see what I'm talking about? If not, then you'll see in a second. Okay, here we finally are, folks. This time I have enough plus points with Slavya to go after her and go on her route. I'm really interested in where Slavya has gone. Though I also wanted to leave this place as fast as possible, and, if not to finally lie down to sleep, then at the very least to spend some time alone, away from all these pioneers and Olga, who just couldn't wait to occupy me with something again. I picked a good moment and fled into the forest. Night had fallen onto the camp. An absolutely normal and unremarkable night. One of those nights when the dark sky, stars or crescent moon don't trigger any special emotions. When the crickets chirp... Excuse me, I don't know what was wrong with me today. I have like the hiccups and burping at the same time. When the crickets chirping and the singing of nightbirds seemed more like an everyday routine than nocturnal chorus. I wandered around the forest with no special purpose, trying not to get too far from the camp. After all, there was a chance to meet Uljana out there, and that natural disaster would probably be even worse than the camp leader. Yeah, that is not nice and you are a dick. I sat down on a fallen tree and started thinking. Why is this always happening to me? Why is this all happening to me? Why do I keep getting myself into foolish situations, every time and everywhere? Even having suddenly appeared in a weird pioneer camp in the middle of nowhere, I don't get to become a subject in an experiment, a victim of a sick cosmic mind, or a participant in an intergalactic war on the side of a group of suicide-prone pacifists, like a regular hero of science fiction. You read too much of that shit, man. No, I get to hide in a night forest from a raving camp leader and her workhorse pioneers. The stars in the sky were shining brightly. Perhaps they give the light not only to me and this camp, but also shine on the city where I was born, and where my old home is. It was as if a pain settled in my chest. I envisioned my old flat clearly, and a detestable burning started making its way from my stomach to my throat. No, it was not wistfulness, more like a sad reminiscence. Yeah, he's reminded of his room. Because despite all that has happened, I have felt more alive in less than 5 days here than I had for the last several years there. Now I really wasn't sure if I wanted to go back. Only one question still ate at me. How and why I ended up here. It flared up yet again in my mind. I haven't spent much time seeking answers, or even just thinking about my situation lately. My thoughts were occupied with everyday, routine affairs. And now, in order to break away and be able to wish to stay here for good, I need to understand the nature of this place. It's just that even a nightingale in a golden cage has a right to know how and by whose will he got in there. Well, I don't support his decision to stay in the fake world. So, but you know, it's his decision. What can I do? I thought it's like something you take her with you in the world, or I don't know. It seems kind of wrong that he stays there. But I mean, if he's happy. And after that to make the choice whether to stay or not. Oh, after that, okay. Probably I would have been lost in my existential thoughts for a long time, but I heard voices approaching. Olga and the pioneers. Looks like they're proceeding with the hike. I headed to the camp at a fast pace. I have no desire to go back to the camp's leader's cabin, because I would surely be scolded, and just waiting for it is much worse. Ah, now we go to the beach. I see. Soon enough I arrived at the beach. And I wasn't alone here. A pioneer uniform was lying on the sand. I hope you are at least a little bit clothed, young lady. It goes really on my nerve to edit so much. A girl's one. But no one seemed to be swimming in the water. I almost thought it was some new devilry when suddenly a voice came from behind. Skipping out on the hike? I thought we were still in the woods. Oh, well, at least you are wearing a swimsuit, then everything is okay. I turned around and saw Slavya in a bikini. Sorry, I guess I interrupted you. That's okay, I'm almost done. Why did you decide to have a swim during the night? Oh well, is it prohibited? She smiled. Well, no. Well, it's just... Won't Olga mind you leaving early? But you did the same. Slavya gave me a quick glance. Yeah, I did, but he is he and you are you, if you know what I mean. I sat down on the sand and stared at the river. You didn't like the hike, did you? No, it's not that. I just wanted to be alone for some time. And I have interrupted you. No, not really. It's not like you at all. What are you talking about? Well, to leave like that. Well, I'm not a robot that can only act according to predefining program. She laughed. Yeah, that is right. I was still puzzled, and my fatigue was also becoming stronger and stronger. My mind was absolutely blank. To be precise, it was so heavy and full, so that not even a single idea would have the chance to dwell there. If I would compare my brain at its prime to a broad highway full of speeding thoughts overtaking each other and causing giant chaotic crashes, and now it's nothing but a forgotten tiny path in a distant, desolate forest, which is only used in times of absolute necessity. So I said the first thing that crossed my mind. Don't you think it's all pretty strange here? Strange? Everything that happens here. It's the idea model of a pioneer camp. I swear to God, if real pioneer camps in the Soviet Union were like that. I mean, maybe some aspects, I mean, you know. Children are in every time period. Children and youth are always children and youth. No matter where, no matter when. But I swear to God, if someone would have tried to make a bomb and explode Lenin, and he was caught, I swear to you, that wouldn't just have ended with a scolding by the pioneer camp leader. Also, I don't think they would have run around naked so much, and some other aspects, but okay. I'm just saying. Of course, it's not like I know a lot about them, but it looks like exactly like I imagined it. And that is probably because, you know, the moment you said that, the moment it probably should have made click in your little head. What are you talking about? Slavya glanced at me perplexedly. Did you ever feel that you're not where you belong? I don't know. More precisely, not where you are meant to be at all. As if thousands of kilometers away from home, or even another galaxy. I don't understand you. We're similar in this. I lay down on my back and looked at the stars. And what would you think if I told you that I'm an alien from the future? Are you? Asked Slavya in dead earnest. Well, let's assume I am. How should I return to my time? Do you really want to? Yeah. All the conversations with her have to do with my situation. Even the slightest hints of it. Always end up at the same place. It's like she's offering me a chance to stay. Almost insisting on it. Well, let's say that I'm not sure. There, as we could call it, everything is like home to me. Or rather, more familiar. Practically everything is known to me, and I'm prepared for any situation. And here it's the other way around. Literally every little thing comes as a surprise. And everything is... different. Is it really that bad? I wouldn't call it bad. Unfamiliar. Unclear. Sometimes it can be hard to change something. Especially for people with my personality. But what do you really want? To start with, I can't answer that question until I find out exactly where here is. Then go and find out. If only it was that easy. But what's so difficult about it? Everything is difficult. I don't even know where to start, and I'm constantly being distracted. You're talking about it so seriously. It's almost like it's all real. She laughed. Who knows? A pretty long silence followed. Suddenly, Slavya sneezed. Bless you. Thanks. It wasn't a good idea to swim at night. You could get ill. Hurry to your cabin. It's cold out here. It's nothing. I'd rather sit here with you a bit more. Now, just let me dress. Well, I was certainly flattered, but... Let's go. I'll walk you. Let's go. I'll walk you. But we didn't even walk a dozen steps before Slavya grasped my arm. What's the matter? Oh, I suddenly felt dizzy. I touched her forehead. It was burning. I was never able to measure body temperature by touch, but in this case it was obvious. I told you. Achi. Come on, come on. No, I couldn't. In fact, Xenia. Listen, we'd better go to the infirmary. And what would you do in the infirmary at night alone? That's nonsense. No, it's not nonsense. If you don't want to help, I'll go by myself. She let go of my hand and was ready to leave. Don't get upset. Put this on. It's cold. And I handed her my sweater, which I'd brought with me on the hike. Finally found some sort of it for it. Finally found some use for it. Good boy. Thanks. She put the sweater on and gave me such a tender and caring look that I just couldn't argue with her anymore. Okay, fine. The infirmary it is, as you say. And yeah, we'll make a break here. I'm not 100% sure how long I'm in, but I guess this is a good point to make a break and see what happens next episode in the infirmary and more. So, thank you everybody for watching. Come back for the next episode and I will see you then. Bye bye.